Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, afternoon, evening for the third round of the No Logic tournament between Trey, Spyre, and Nobly. I am Misanthropic Buddha, and today I am with JD Silvergun, who jumped in at the very, very last second. So I do thank you for doing that. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I hope you're doing well too. I have no problem hopping in. These races are a lot of fun, so hopefully we'll see some interesting stuff here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So hopefully, let's see here. So hopefully, yeah, this will be great. We're going to think there as we wait for the runners to get themselves situated. It looks like they have their seeds, so it looks like they're all good to go. It looks like there are people in chat, so that's good. All right, so yeah, so of course, no logic. Fortunately, JD is able to come in here to provide his expertise, considering that I'm not familiar with all of the nonsense that may happen here, but I'm sure you can offer insights.
Most certainly.
Is there, because you told me before we started that this is like kind of the rando seed that you this type of rando that you mainly run. Is there like a common, I guess, route that most runners will start doing before fanning out to wherever?
Well, in general, just the glitched modes have not been as popular. There's like a bit of a barrier to entry, and since like there are very few glitches that are allowed in regular rando that so even that kind of has a bit of a barrier to entry. Like there's like a knowledge barrier is what I'm trying to say. But so the quote unquote competitive rule set is a lot more popular than this one, but we have a lot of new people, so this is really exciting.
This is true. So, all right, and we are off, as we see here, as they both got a shovel come out of Link's house. Trey, interestingly, going with a non-Link sprite. You don't see that too often. At least from what I've seen in the glitch seeds. I believe
some
that
people do, some people don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to my understanding, it's like for some people because they use. They also, because they're using, because I know most people have certain cues with how they line up Link's shadow and all that stuff. And then, as as our tracker, Mr. Byers mentioned here, also doing a color palette as well. So, yeah. All right, so we're told that the Skull Woods has the green pendant. As nothing too crazy here. Blue mail's always nice.
We saw Trey doing some digging, and that's, well, I mean, I don't think he really got anything, but that's an interesting way to try to get some early resources. Like, you would really want to have bombs before you go into Eastern, probably, because, like, door juking with bombs is a shortcut to get one of the chucks, but, I mean, maybe he doesn't care. Like, this is a very anti-meta play. Like, not that many people do this early Eastern, so this is kind of interesting.
Okay, yeah. So, and as in the Bonks Rocks, you got a red rupee there. Did nobly. So, I mean, so can Trey do anything other than the vanilla stuff currently in Eastern, or is this kind of just I'm here, I might as well check the few chests I can?
I think that he was just trying to combine it with Asala play and gets rewarded with a fire rod, so that's really good.
Right, so as a reminder sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with no sword and no bombs and like literally only boots, there aren't really any glitches you can do to answer your question.
Okay, thank you for that. And then just as a reminder for those that are new to this particular seed, there are actually 2 sets of fire rods and ice rods to avoid any potential soft locking should that happen. And the rule set is that other than no logic, they have to beat all the crystal bosses as well as Aga 2 before they can go ahead and take on Ganon.
And yes, we do prefer double rods because it makes it more interesting to try to clear the seed without like necessarily checking like too many item locations. It makes us like use our brain more to try to solve the problems that we encounter.
Mm-hmm. And then Nobly got himself a couple of bombs there for probably the next 2 checks here in CAC Village. Trey, I don't think really got anything of any worth. I gotta turn on professional, leaving my phone on. But yeah,
Well, he
so
got the
far
fire
really,
rod.
yeah, Fire Rod's
So
the only really, well, not real, but that's a major thing, obviously. Yeah,
it just depends where the other one is. That may or may not be a big advantage.
right. Malmo putting some very strict philosophy in chat there. I mean, all of that's true. And then, so I don't remember seeing the glove. I know was given. Nobly found the glove, which I know can be useful, but as I was told in a previous race, that it doesn't necessarily. It's not a mandatory item.
Certainly not, but it makes it a lot easier to check certain locations. And I mean, you would rather see it than not because, like certain areas, like desert, for example, has the checkerboard cave rock. You know, it's just one of those. You're not leaving something behind, at least.
I see. And with that, Nobly really most notably got himself a book and Titan's mitts. So Nobly now is kind of squared away, at least in the glove department.
And going back into the well to get the bottle vendor rupees.
Oh yeah, a little bit short there, so I had to take a second drop of shame. And I missed this earlier. This was, as Trey is just getting it now. Okay, it's a big key pod. Bottle vendor had blue boom. And let's see
Nobly
where.
running out of resources all over the place, trying to farm a bomb in the bushes.
Right. Trying to see here if, yeah, or if, no, I don't think there'd be a lot of 20s lying around, but no, still nothing.
Yeah, so what Nobly is experiencing right now is the reason why a lot of people don't generally go to town immediately in these modes. Because he had to farm the bonk rocks by the fortune teller to even have bombs in the first place. Didn't have bottle vendor rupees. Like, these minor time losses kind of can add up. But,
Right.
yeah, anyway.
Oh, got one bomb. So gonna go into, okay. Oh, farmed a heart. Okay, that's good.
Free farm. Farm to do another farm inside
There
the...
So now, yep, of course, in here you get some couple rupees, but mostly bombs and some arrows as well. As as Trey has just acquired their glove, and then one more round. You're gonna go back in for a full 10. You're gonna take it. Yep, take the 8. That's fine. Yeah, I agree with Spyre there. Yeah, it does seem to be. It does seem to be, especially with the book. Well, if there was a logic to it, that it is kind of screaming to tell you to go to desert. Okay, small key to Mire for Nobly.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Because of the overworld glitches that we generally do to get around, like, it feels bad to save and quit. So if it's possible to, like, continue the route, like, generally you just want to, like, keep clearing things.
Okay. Nobly in the house has a compass that Nobly wants none of. I wonder... And let's see over here. It is 10 arrows. Oh, we're going to see our first. I believe this is our first little trick of the day. Going to clip in the mountain. Going to go to desert.
Yep.
All right. On the ledge, half magic. Thought about not taking it, then decided to take it. Okay.
Yeah, he was like ready to run away because he thought he was expecting junk, is why people do weird little motions like that, and he's like, oh no, I actually want that.
And of course, for anyone who also hasn't seen this before, if this is your first time, first off, welcome. Oh, sword. The other reason too, or the other thing also, aside from the weirdness or what's different other than double rods, is that both runners will start with the boots because it's a lot easier to do a lot of these little tricks when you have boots versus trying to do them without.
Trey Spyre just got an 8 bomb pack from digging. I have never seen that in my life, so he finally got the payout for all that digging, I guess.
You know, I keep forgetting an 8-pack exists. Damn, what, the sword is dupable?
I mean, technically most things are dupable, but duping items in desert tends to be a little bit tricky because we have these like open-edged screens that aren't like a door transition. So I'm not familiar with how you would go about duping that specific location. There are a lot of ones that if you kind of know the way it works, you can kind of improvise it on your own, but this, I would say, is not actually one of them because that is a subtile door, so it's going to be more difficult. Because like I said, those other open screen edges. Like, the transition corruptions, like the YBAs and the Samarias, don't work the same if you don't actually have a door, to my knowledge.
And here is Nobly doing a little trick here where you have to try to pay attention a little bit to... He's currently in the next room. So he's in the cannonball room right now. Got what appears to either be a heart piece or sank heart. But yeah, and I didn't know, and I missed what he got at the beginning, and I don't really see anything different in his inventory, so... Oh, we can actually take a look over here. Okay, it was sank heart. Okay.
Yeah, Trey got the Desert Small Key inside Eastern, which actually is pretty good for a small key, because that specific door can be used to access Swamp later if we want to take that route.
Okay.
But what Nobly did to access it without a key was called a quadrant glitch. Kind of like desyncing yourself with the game, like your actual location with where the game thinks you are. It can cause transitions to become unstable in a way that we can exploit. So that's how Nobly was able to get past the key door.
Okay. Small key. But small key of the Dark Forest, so... Is that what I just said?
I missed it, but I will take your word for it. So that they kind of just don't want to tell you what it is for, I don't know why they designed it that way, but that means Skullwoods.
Skull
I'm
Woods,
pretty
okay.
sure.
I just never heard of the verbiage of that before, so that's why I was a little confused.
All the book hints are like pretty bad phrases. I guess somebody thought it was funny, but like nobody agrees though.
Very well. And so Nobly going to Aegina's cave where Trey did not go, and Trey didn't need to, unless Trey really wants that compass. So let's see here. Trey going to, looks like, clip back towards the desert again. While Nobly, of course, is in desert, and also going to do a... Okay, so both runners are pretty much kind of doing, small key of the Dark Forest. So they're both kind of doing similar things, just in different orders. All right, so we clip back through the mountain.
This what Trey's doing is a fairly common route. It had a little bit of a side trip with the like because of the shovel. He had to do like an additional clip to get back over the wall, like the mountain terrain. But people like to save and quit out of this Aegina cave because these fade screen transitions are like deceptively long if you time it out. I think it takes like 14 seconds to walk out of the cave, so people like to just save and quit.
Okay, Nobly tried to clip, but then he got stuck in a... Unfortunately, Nobly, they got stuck in a ledge, and so that was kind of the end for them, so they saved and quit as well.
That is an unfortunate thing that can happen with overworld glitches. Sometimes you get stuck, but not as unfortunate as a hard lock, though.
Right. And so Trey going into King's Tomb as Nobly makes their way to the dam. Okay, Trey's got a map to Skull.
Well, which is unfortunate because we know that from Sasrala. And the map to Pod is in the dam, which is a good map.
And so Trey looks like about to do a back of escape check if they can stop getting into a fight with the bee. But okay.
And
Right,
sometimes this is an RNG game with stuff like that happening. They just get in your way.
Of course. Dam has a heart piece. How very vanilla. Heart pieces in the back, and I forgot what the third thing was. Nobly making their way into the Medium Moldorm Cave.
Yeah. I think our tracker, Mr. Barr, will let us know if we missed something. I trust him.
Of course. Oh, a little bit of problem there. Looks like Trey, I believe this is set up for a little Death Mountain trip.
Yes, this is the Death Mountain Ascent that we see in vanilla speedruns. He didn't have to do that because he has the glove, but maybe just out of habit, like went for it anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of seeds where you don't normally seem to get the glove this early, so.
Definitely.
And I mean, I've seen some seeds where there's no glove at all, so that's also true.
Yep. You never know. That's
Right.
the wild thing about this mode, is the high variance makes it exciting, at least for me.
Understandable. Bombs for Trey. As now Trey is going to eat some of them cabbages. Looks like about to take a trip up. Was that Hera? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Hera clip, yes.
All right. And so, ooh, all right. Bombos
That
could be
Bombos
useful.
medallion. Yeah, maybe a bit less so because he already found the fire rod, but if Bombos is the Meyer medallion and Meyer is a crystal, then that is going to be very high value for both runners.
Very true. As Nobly now did a water walk to go check Waterfall Cave, a heart and a small key to ice.
I like that small key to ice, because sometimes you can have to do some awkward routing if you're trying to get all the chests in there, or like if you don't have the hammer or the glove, you can't lift up the rock to get the key that's like already in there. Now, small keys are, while not required, are generally pretty helpful.
Right. Nobly trying to clip over. Oh, couldn't get into the fence, so he's got to take the long walk. That is a big key. Unfortunately, does not have enough money for Zora.
I would be shocked if Nobly cared about Zora, because I've talked to Nobly about that before, and a lot of people generally ignore Zora in this mode, because the potion and bomb budget is a little tight in some seeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't remember seeing many actually trying to like legitimately go to Zora. Like only if they had 500 rupees and they're like, yeah, I'll take the side trip.
I check it
Ooh.
sometimes, but I usually try to set up a save scum, like off of like a death warp or something, or just a save and quit, so I can get the money back. It is a little bit time consuming, but I do it because it's like an anti-meta gamble, though. If it pays out, it's probably an advantage.
Right. Master Trey had found the Master Sword in Spiral Cave, so that'll be a little more advantageous.
Yeah, definitely. And Master Sword is actually one of the few items that is non-negotiable. We need Master Sword or better to beat Ganon.
Mm-hmm. As now Trey is going to be doing the Paradox Cave. Found 300 rupees. That's always nice. And then, because also what's also important too is I've seen from some runners that of course getting enough money is important because sometimes you do need to get to buy some potions if you can acquire bottles.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that we're approaching like a light world full clear pretty much. I don't think they left very much behind at all, and that we still haven't seen a bottle. And bottles are kind of one of our main glitching items, just because of the door glitches are just extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll see that later and have a chance to talk about that later.
Right. No, I agree, definitely. As I remember from seeing it, that yeah, there's definitely we'll get to see that later and see how just how strong a bottle or the cane of Samaria or whatever. Because I know there's a lot of like little things that many items that I'm not 100% familiar with. All right. Ether tablet check from Trey gives us a map. Oh, unfortunately, Nobly.
Dead rock.
Unfortunately, Nobly got to play a little bit of the waiting game there. Couldn't get that idiot out of the way fast enough. Unfortunately, there's a big key on Spectacle Rock. As Trey is making their way to it. What is it? Ooh, the Hera big key.
Immediately going to turn around and
Understandable.
put that to good use.
Absolutely. because at least now that the big key's been grabbed, Trey can pretty much clear it with the exception of downstairs.
Yeah, that downstairs location is generally avoided. We like to use that key in Swamp usually, or just pretend the basement doesn't exist in this mode.
Fair. I mean, that's fair. It's a nobly taken to death.
But I also want to say that TR map that Trey had is a really good find, because a map check in the Dark World will immediately tell him if he's going to be looking at a potential Ice Rod Go mode later or not.
Mm-hmm. Bomb jump for 20 rupees. And so I'm going to suspect Trey will go after Moldworm since they're here.
Yeah, Master Sword spins make it a pretty good fight. The Fighter Sword can be a bit of a slog. With 6 hits required, there's a higher chance you get knocked off and have to redo the fight.
Very true. Inside Spectacle Rock was just a 20 piece. As Trey's now going to go after Moldworm. Now, we don't actually know if this is a pendant or a crystal. We'll see how will they fare. 3 spins. There you go.
Yeah, very
and
nice.
While it looks like Nobly is trying to go into pod, cave state, 300 wing wangs and a crystal.
First crystal on the board at 20 minutes. Good start.
There we go. And then Nobly gets a small key to GT as Nobly proceeds through cave state pod. I forgot the name of the place.
Right, that's a really neat little clip that Nobly did. It's common in vanilla speedruns as well. That go to pod like ADRMG. Just conveniently wraps the entire map of the underworld so that despawns the sprites. I don't know why it despawns the sprites, but we can take advantage of that and get some peace and quiet in here and just loot the place.
And then I believe, and then having the pod big allows Nobly to easily do the bomb jump, grab the chest. Yep, right position, and boom, there it is. Oh, because everyone loves a compass. Nobly gonna go check out the dark room.
Yeah, that is correct that the pod big key allows him to open that, but not for the reason most people probably think. The pod big key is one of what is considered our cave state big keys. But the game doesn't actually know that Nobly is in pod right now because the dungeon ID is set by entering the front door of a dungeon. Or like any actual entrance for the dungeons that have multiple entrances. So normally you would go to Hyrule Castle to get the cave state key if we didn't have one already, so that was just a little convenient. And actually the castle is the only light world I think we haven't seen really, other than a couple one-offs here and there. That's kind of interesting that both runners decided to skip that for now.
Yeah, there's still that front of escape check. Okay, a lot of GT small keys being collected here by Nobly, as now Trey is also just a couple screens behind, if we were thinking of it like that. And Trey, okay, thought Trey was gonna hover. Oh, powder by Nobly, and a compass. Now, to my understanding, and you'll have to explain this, is that I know the powder can be important for setting something. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, there's a value in the game that we can manipulate and use to set up other glitches. And that value is called the search index. And the powder is not the ideal item to have that, but if you don't have the lamp, but you do have a certain other combination of items like Samaria, bow, hookshot, things like that, that we can do what's called misslotting glitches with, then the powder can actually be a very strong item. It just isn't as helpful as the lamp because you have to set it up, you have to kind of plan better around it because you can't just do it by itself. You have to set it up in a different way.
I see.
And I'll explain that if one of the runners shows us that, because it'll make more sense.
Okay. Nobly was trying a couple times to do the hover to get to that small chest because it's a bit of a journey getting all the way over, but after 2 attempts, decided to not bother. And so
Yeah, that
now,
hover is
go
quite
ahead.
a bit of a time save for people that can do it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. No, it's really good insight. And so now Nobly took the walk around to go grab the 2 chests over here. Oh, shield. Okay. And so I'm gonna guess Nobly will take the walk around, yeah.
Yeah,
Now, of
so
course,
interesting.
sorry, go ahead.
When both runners checked the back of Escape earlier, and there's a bomb juke you can do to get to check the pyramid item, and neither runner went for that. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because they're the exact same juke, with some additional movement afterwards you can do in this room that Nobly's in, and it'll take you to Hookshot Cave. So it'll be interesting to see if either of our runners goes for that. It looks like has reset the
Mm,
dungeon, so Trey's not going for that, I don't think.
right. Nobly, though, got himself a red mail and the red cane. I know that is a pretty big deal, at least in terms of glitch things, to my knowledge.
It's the holy grail that you want to see that.
Mm-hmm. So now we'll see how long it takes for Trey to grab that, if they do.
Yeah, being in pod state without the bow is gonna have to mimic clip, or unless they have like a potion or something that we missed, but I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
that's
that's the
true.
case.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah, that's right. Because I didn't realize Trey was already in pod state.
Eh, some people are very fast at the unbuffer clip, so maybe that's the case for
All right,
Trey.
cool. Okay, so we'll see how this works.
Meanwhile, Nobly is setting up a trick called statue drag to Helmasaur. Uh, Basically, we can use a stored statue dragging animation to like juke the front door, which normally entrance doors are notoriously difficult to juke. And what that does is it allows us to travel south through the underworld, um, in an unintended way. With careful camera manipulation, eventually Nobly will get into the boss room without having to like go the vanilla way. So that leaving and re-entering is part of the setup.
And right now, I know Trey is trying to get there. It is trying to get that magic pixel to get the mimic to go back to its home planet.
Yeah,
So,
mimic clipping is not usually seen in No Logic, but like some of the newer runners I know like to do it. I mean, it's kind of a deceptively difficult trick. You have to do like 8 frame perfect buffers or unbuffered if you know how.
mhm.
So it's interesting that people decide to go for that. But I mean, he got it done, so it wasn't too big of a time loss.
Yeah, job done. And now here we are at Helma for Nobly, as you were explaining with the statue drag. Now, it'll be a little challenging. Because now we
A
gotta.
fighter sword is not ideal for this fight. It's going to take 8 spins to finish off phase 2. And just a sword swing will not damage the boss at all. The boss will completely ignore it.
Yeah, no, it is kind of nice though that, at least in terms of tanking damage, that Link does, because nobody has red mail. It
Yeah,
looks like
definitely.
Trey is following suit here by doing statue drag. Skyline, checks won the second game. The third game is tonight at 8 p.m. EDT.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, that's we're definitely going to look forward to that match as well as this one.
And I missed that. What was Helma?
Our tracker has marked it as a. I'm sorry, the comm feed is quite low resolution. I think that's. I can't even tell what that's marked
It looks
as.
like
I'm
it's a
sorry.
crystal.
Okay,
I had
thank
to.
you for that.
Yeah, no, I had to actually open the stream itself to actually see it.
Okay, so Nobly
Um,
is setting up a quadrant glitch. We call this turtle power, because we're using the turtle to get the quadrant glitch state. This is This is similar to what he did in Desert, but instead of using like a BMOS, he's using the sword tink and the spin off of the enemy, like with a precise X position. Like it crosses like the invisible line that divides the room in half. And so by doing that, we can be desynced from which quadrant we are actually in. That's why it's called a quadrant glitch.
I see. While Trey checked out, excuse me, Trey checked out um, the graveyard and only had arrows. Oh, nice dash there by Nobly.
And yeah, so the result of this is by moving through pod, the first right transition we take is not for a very long time, so it takes us to Hookshot Cave when we are in this quadrant glitched state.
Yep. So we'll see here, and then at least check out the one chest, some bombs.
And he is desynced from the sprites, that's why he's like walking right through them.
And I'm gonna try to hover. Of course, the hover without seeing the dust is always off-putting.
It is interesting.
Bombs, rupees. All right, hover for the last check.
You know, I'm not a very good hoverer. Sometimes I'm like looking at my hands when I try to do it, and then I have to look up to see if I made it or not. If I know it's working if I don't hear the fall, but I'm not very good at hovering. It's quite a difficult trick.
Mm-hmm. Nobly almost there. Oh,
That looked like he wasn't like low enough, even if he did make it.
yeah.
But
It
I
looked
could be
like he was gonna.
mistaken
It looked
about
like he was gonna nudge.
Oh, the sword out hover, even more difficult.
Look at this
So,
guy. Sword out, hover, gets it for 20 bucks.
that was really nice, actually. So the advantage of the sword out hover is that if we are heading west or north, it allows us to move at 2 pixels per frame when we successfully hover. For those that don't know, you have to release the A button for only 1 frame and hold it for no longer than 29 frames. So basically, you're rubbing like the backs of your fingers across the A button in a specific rhythm, and that basically somehow allows us to bypass the game checking if we should fall or not because of the check for dashing kind of overrides it. I think is kind of how it works.
If you're in chat, I have the emote that shows what that looks like. So now Nobly is now in Turtle Rock. It looks like Trey's gonna be doing the waterfall checks.
Yeah, so there's a Samaria glitch you can do in that door with the big chest room. I'm not sure why he didn't go for that. He's just going straight to Laser Bridge. But if you do a North Samaria in the big chest room, it allows you to open the vanilla big key chest, like, from the big chest. Oh, okay, he's routing it in a different way. I think I kind of see what he's doing here. He's going back for it. Oh, but he doesn't have the TR big key, I don't think, though, because... Or, no, sorry. It was the map that was on Ether Tablet. I'm just getting a little mixed up, pardon me.
No, it's okay.
I was just trying to figure out what Nobly's thinking with this route, because there's so many different ways you can route dungeons in this mode.
Right.
Alright, this is the North Samaria. He's setting up a death warp, because without the mirror, death warping is a way to reset the dungeon.
Alright, so now here's the setup while Trey's trying to get the big key.
Alright, it's 20 rupees, and he is going to farm that a little bit. The unique property of this dupe is that we can open it.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and take the death. Whereas Trey got for... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, he probably was hoping for like a sword or a bottle in that chest, but he's gonna take the money though.
And then has a heart in the actual big key.
Okay, so it looks like Nobly is going to go to the front, so this routing now makes sense to me. I feel like most people would Yeah, I guess without small keys, you're not going to the back. So you would. There's a way you could set that up by stealing the key from the pokey and duping it, but it's a bit of an involved process.
Yeah, I don't
But
think there'd
one
be
key
dupe.
would be
I don't
enough.
think there's duping here, but I do think he's going to grab this small key though right now.
Yeah, maybe he is going to the back after all.
All right. Yep, got to deal with all those. There you go. Trey now going to Aga.
Well, just the chests in here. I don't think he's actually going to bag. That would be funny if he did, though.
Yeah, big if true. But yeah, that's what I meant. Well, at least I do one check. I forgot he doesn't have a key, or Trey doesn't have a small key. So quite a bug net though.
Yeah, the castle tower checks can be kind of swingy and racist sometimes, because if you approach the castle from the north, or like if you don't have the Master Sword, or if your opponent doesn't have the Master Sword, then they approach from the south, they're not going to be able to get in that door usually, so it's not a given that everyone will get that location, even if you check the rest of the castle, but it was nothing this time, though.
Right. And now Trey doing the front of escape for 3 chests. Big key to thieves.
You know, that's funny, because that's another one of our cave state big keys, and it's in the castle, so it's kind of funny that the game likes to do that to us, but fortunately they already found the pod big key earlier outside in the world.
Mm-hmm. So now Nobly can do all the checks up front. Of course, some bombs. Now, unfortunately, Nobly does not have the fire rod, so can't really do torches.
Well, he can get the items, but he is not going to do so by lighting the torches. You'll see how in a second here. It's another North Samaria, but this time showing in a different way. 'Cause a lot of these transition corruptions have a variety of effects. So earlier we saw he wrote the contents of the chest onto a different one. So this one is going to kind of, in a manner of speaking, like rearrange the room so he can glitch that door and then take this other door to take us to a place it wouldn't normally go, which is right next to the
All
chest.
right, very good. I've never seen that before. A map and a mushroom. Okay.
Even if you have the fire rod, usually you want to go that way 'cause it's a shortcut, but not having the fire rod, like, he has to do it that way, so it's nice.
Okay. And then Trey doesn't appear that got much in the castle, so took the death warp.
Yeah, I was curious if we were going to get a dark crossplay, and I'm not surprised that we're skipping it. It is kind of a longer check.
Yeah, it's a longer check and not exactly the easiest thing to do in the dark. We're gonna get an uncle check though.
Yeah, they have plenty of health and a sword, so he would be able to do it if he wanted to, but just not a
Big key
priority.
to ice.
Yeah, you would rather have that key than not have it if you're going to Ice Palace, that's for sure.
And 20 piece. So now Nobly will be acquiring their Master Sword.
No bottles still in the seed, I'm surprised. At a certain point, if they don't... Well, I mean, they have at least Samaria, but Samaria requires a little bit more know-how to know how to get around with it than just potion glitches, so... And not finding anything, we see that Trey actually is going to check Dark Cross because the seed is not being extremely generous. Like, Samaria is a really powerful item, but it doesn't have quite the same flexibility that having a bottle would have in a lot of cases, and they don't have the Moon Pearl. I mean, they could go to Ice Palace, though, with the mitts, but they wouldn't be able to clear the boss unless they find, like, an item to help them do so.
I also forgot that Trey had Fire Rod, so it makes Dark Cross a little bit easier when trying to find the chest, which has the other Fire Rod in it.
That's kind of unfortunate for Nobly, but I don't know. Our runners are gonna have to make some pretty interesting decisions pretty soon here. I think if Trey's comfortable with doing like a bunny clipping with select buffers, I think a good play for Trey would be either to go to GT or to Skull Woods, because we can do some overworld clips without having the Moon Pearl. It's a little bit more difficult, but like they are kind of a little bit running out of options here.
Yeah, I don't. I do not know what they have left. Trey's gonna think is gonna go. Oh, gonna go right to ice. Because I know I don't think
Yeah.
anyone. I don't think anyone has checked the hobo.
Oh, really? Huh. Thank you for that observation, because like that's a common early route is to get that as like the second check of the game after Link's house. So that is a little bit surprising that
Hmm.
both decided to skip it.
Yeah, because last time that anyone went that way was um, Trey was checking out Eastern and didn't do the clip into the to go underneath the bridge.
Oh, that's a very interesting play. Like that check, it really isn't time consuming to check in this mode because we can set up a fake flipper like pretty easily, like from the same screen that the bridge is on. And like
Mhm.
some people literally get that check as their second check of the game, so I would say skipping that location is kind of a gamble in this mode, but like some people, you know, their opening routes that they like to do just didn't take them that way, so.
Right. And now Nobly gonna go for their Moldorm fight
Yeah.
as Trey about to do Icebreaker here.
So I'm
Mhm.
not extremely surprised that we're seeing this play. It needs to find either the hammer or like a blue potion or a number of other items, depending on Trey's knowledge to get to the boss. But there's still items in here that we can get, and having the small key is convenient. Well, and the big key as well.
And Mr.
Having
Bauer
a
put up a
little.
good point that this is a pendant. This is a pendant dungeon too, so this is only for.
Oh, right, right. And yeah, I think Skull Woods is
Oh,
a
okay.
pendant, yes, as
Yeah, Skull's
well.
pendant. So the pendants are actually Skull, Swamp, and Ice.
Well, the swamp being a pendant is a small mercy for these runners, because they're both having a little bit of trouble trying to decide what to. Well, not trying to decide what to do, but like these options are not like with their like dream options. Let's just put it that way.
Right. But at least
So
now for Nobly, because I think Nobly's the first one to do a map check. Nobly now knows where all the crystals are.
yeah, knowledge is very important in this mode, and we see that he is setting up a bunny clip that I have mentioned earlier.
And
So our
this
only
is
way to control our movement with the bunny is, other than just tapping perfectly, which is really difficult to do, is to select buffer. Do you
mhm,
need to move a certain number of frames, like in specific directions, to set this kind of a clip up?
right, because the bunny can't use boots.
Yeah, no
Small key
boots,
to
no
skull
square buffer.
in the big chest.
Yeah. It is a shame that Nobly is the one that decided to do the Skullwoods path, not having the fire rod. Is unless he gets like some other items, hook pushing gear or something, which is unlikely. He's not
Yeah.
going to be able to check the back of Skullwoods. I'm having a
Unless
little bit of
something
trouble with this clip.
Yeah, a little bit. Unless something compels Nobly to all of a sudden want to go to either do Dark Cross or go to Eastern when you're not aptly prepared to go to Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, Eastern in this situation, see, I normally avoid Eastern, but in this situation, it's not a bad play because it doesn't require him doing a clip that he's somewhat clearly not comfortable doing. So
Hmm.
um, it wouldn't be as bad as I'd like. In a normal seed, like most seeds are a little bit more generous than this, I think, but I don't know. The other school of thought with that is just leaving it behind forever. Like, if they assume that You know, if something is in Eastern, like, they're gonna lose anyway because they're so late to it, but I'm not sure what Nobly's thinking. Maybe just doesn't want to go to Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Nobly, though, perseverance definitely showing here, still trying, whereas Trey is perusing the left. Looks like I can do the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay, we got a race. We got a race, folks. Here's what it is.
and this looks good for Nobly. I think he might need to just do, like, one more buffer and then hold down, and he should be good.
Mmm.
Oh, he either went too far or not far enough. It's kind of hard for me to tell when like, because he has that display in the way, and I'm not the one, like, controlling it, so not, like,
Right.
watching every frame.
Right. Hmm. I didn't realize it before, but also Trey did not, or I guess maybe wasn't able to take out Helma.
I think Trey just chose not to do the glitch.
Okay.
Um, was which is it's a pretty valid choice. I mean, if it had been a pendant, which we know it's not, but like you're saving like probably at least 3 minutes by not doing the boss. Like
And
even
both
though
got it.
yeah, wow, that was really both that was kind of crazy that they
Yeah.
both happened to get it at the same time.
Oh, thank you, Axel. Okay. Trey messed up the statue pole and then just decided to bail on it. Okay, very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had missed that, but yeah, so Trey's kind of betting that it's a pendant or is just gonna have to go back later because even I do agree with not spending too much time on it if it didn't work out because even though it's faster than like going through the dungeon normally, like it still takes time to do it. So it's a reasonable like gamble to just leave it.
Right. So now I'm assuming both here are going to go take intentional deaths before they start roaming around Skull Woods.
Yeah, and Nobly is doing it in a better way. The spike is more efficient than the falling in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we have to do this because when we die in a dungeon, the game doesn't check. Well, sorry, that's the other rando reason. This actually puts us in the fake Dark World in Glitched Rando, because this is a vanilla behavior. Sorry that is a little bit of a confusing explanation, but this actually works differently in like non-glitched Rando because the ROM is patched in a different way, and I was about to explain it incorrectly.
No, you're all good. So far, nothing of note for either player. Maps and heart pieces and whatnot. Now we're going to get 2 more checks. Okay, so there's Quake. Which Nobly did not check, as Nobly's heading to the back. And bombs. Trey waiting to get grabbed by the big hand. So Nobly got past Mummy Room. Ah, hook shot.
Okay, well...
yeah, I know you kids, that's popular amongst you kids.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because the hook shot... I mean, they technically could set up hook pushing with this loadout, but with not having the lamp to, like, do it kind of, like, at will, like, the powder and mushroom index setup, you have to do it beforehand. You either need to do it on a save and quit, or have, like, specific, like, geography on a screen that lets you set it up. And I'll explain why that is if we see them do it, because it kind of doesn't really make sense. Or I'm just gonna have trouble explaining it if it's not like on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Trey, of course, having the fire rod, decided to go and check out the back. Gonna go check. Okay, gonna go. No, I'm gonna go after Moth first. Okay.
Yeah, you know, Trey might not actually check that hookshot location. That is kind of a... I guess with Samaria, it's not bad, because there are 2 ways we can actually check that more quickly with Samaria, but... Some people skip that location. I mean, he'll get it after the boss, because, like, the seed is making our runners be a little bit more thorough than they would like to be, I think, but I don't know, we'll see what happens.
All right. So now we'll see This shouldn't be too bad, with plenty of fire rod juice, and even the Master Sword can be a bit tricky. I know it's not that bad of a fight.
Yeah, it's just not, you know, this what we're used to seeing in speedruns with like the 4/ tempered fight is usually pretty quick. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was still a quick fight though.
that was a very good fight. And got a compass to Eastern. Then, of course, got the green pendant. So,
Oh, he did get the hook shot already. Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
nobly turned in the mushroom and had bombs waiting for them. So now Trey is going to go do the long walk, the long wrap around here to go see what that chest is. Meanwhile, nobly it looks like it's going to be heading eastern.
Yeah, this is interesting. So there are a few ways that Nobly could complete this dungeon. I didn't see him set an index beforehand, so that solution's most likely not going to involve any hook pushing, but we'll see what he decides to do here.
Meanwhile, Trey will go ahead and turn in the green pendant prize, which is a heart piece.
Not what he was hoping to see there.
No, full-blown scam. Well done. Nobly jumping for joy, getting the fire rod. So I'll be curious to see, though, if Nobly will decide to potentially go back to go get Moth for the sake of the green pendant, or not bother.
I think he would have to be extremely desperate to want to do that, personally, but it's really hard to predict what people are going to do in this mode, though, so we'll see.
So Trey is now going back into Eastern. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm not entirely sure why. Like I don't know where you can glitch in here, where you can end up going.
Well, they have a couple options. If they had set an index beforehand, they could hook push to bypass the big key door, which, with not having the bow, is it's tricky. Because there is one hook push they can do from the front room, so which would involve not dealing with any Igors at all, so the bow requirement is completely skipped. The other thing they can do is delete this door. It looks like nobody's going to show us the door delete. And setting up a death warp afterwards to reset the dungeon, which is required if you don't have mirror. But so if you delete the door, that solves one problem. The other problem is you have to get past the bow requirement. And the way we do that is by doing 2 quadrant glitches. And the reason why that is the first one desyncs you from your quadrant, which a side effect of that is that it destabilizes the camera. And then we do the second quadrant glitch to resync ourselves with our correct quadrant. And it looks like he's not going to do that, but so Nobly was attempting what's called a West Samaria transition corruption. We call it West Samaria, or West STC for short. And if he was successful, it would have deleted the door. But it looks like both runners are leaving. Trey just wanted to check the big key chest, it looked like. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything helpful.
No, it wasn't. So now, see where
I think this
Nobly's
is
gonna,
probably
Nobly's
GT
gonna
for
go.
Nobly. He can do a similar bunny clip.
Oh,
Although
okay.
this one's a little bit more precise, but it's quite similar to the one we saw before.
Oh, just in a different position, and now but instead of going down to Dark Sanctuary, we'll actually go up to GT.
Yeah, by positioning yourself on on the correct pixel with specific inputs being a perfect downright, it jumps and wraps us to the top of the map, so we're able to just go in the door.
Okay. Looks like Trey is trying to do the same thing here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is a seed that really would benefit from knowing the Thieves Town double juke, and that was a mistake on Trey's side. He's gonna save and quit and try. Well, he might not try again. We'll see what he does.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you're not on the right pixel, or if your inputs are not like a perfect downright, but you can buffer it to be safe, you don't get the jump that you're looking for.
Oh, and then it caused him to get yeeted out in a direction he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
I think there are actually some uses for that jump, but like they're pretty like obscure, and I don't even remember what they are, but I know it's been discussed before. It looks like he is going to attempt it again. Like with Fire Rod and Samaria, they don't have to glitch to do the right side or like the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they can juke to do the 4 chests on the left side without having the hammer, but so far these runners have shown us that they're not like super comfortable with doing jukes, so... Because I'm not sure if we've seen any jukes attempted actually in this race so far, so... I'm guessing we're not going to see that, but they might find the hammer in here, which will lead to them checking it normally. Yeah, this looks good on Nobly's side. Yep.
Nobly, yep. Yep, Nobly's in GT.
Yep. I'm going to take a quick visit to a bed of spikes to revive ourselves in link
Yep.
state.
Yep, so Nobly will take a nap real quick. While Trey's still trying to get them magic pixels in order to get through.
Yeah, Mr. Spyre in chat bringing up a point that in addition to double juking, you could do a 0A hook push to Thieves Town. And that is true, but that particular hook push is a little bit finicky, but it certainly is possible. There are ways you can get terminated if you don't set it up in a specific way, and by terminated, I mean basically it just cuts your travel short. You don't make it the full distance. But I'm hoping we're going to eventually see some hook pushing, so this will make sense to people that have not seen it before, but you never know. We're getting a tile room check from Nobly, which... I mean, personally, I wouldn't skip this, but I think a lot of people would, so this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so meanwhile, Trey taking the death. And now Trey will also... Nope, looks like he'll head down the right side. Nope, compass. For Nobly.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe Trey does know the juke, because it's fairly uncommon to see that middle P door opened. And then that's the door you would need to do it in to access the left side without the hammer.
Oh, I see. We're about to get a full right side check here. Oh, good. Good dash. Alright, so in here we have not much. The small key to Hera, small key to TR, and a heart piece. So far, still not a lot. So I mean, there's still a left side checks to make, and it looks like Nobly is heading back over here. Okay, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, it's unfortunate that Nobly's, like, decided to quit on the Eastern play, because I'm curious if the boss, like, would have had a helpful item. At this point, like, they've checked quite a number of things, so... And we know that Eastern is a crystal, so they're gonna have to do it at some point. But, yeah, I'm not surprised to see them going, like, full right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as Mr. Byer did say that, yeah, getting that small Hera means you can now get a swamp check if need be.
Yeah, we might see that. It's not... I mean, it definitely makes it a lot easier to do. Like, there is another way they could unlock Swamp, but it's a lot lengthier than using the Hera Small in Swamp. And having the hookshot with using Specky Clip makes it easy to check the big chest and the south chest and left side if they want to.
As Nobly currently spamming to win, which is fine. 3 in the back here. Small to Aga Tower. There's a mirror. And a small
mirror?
swamp.
Oh. Well, I don't think we're going to see this small swamp get used, but mirror is a really helpful item. Especially being that they have no bottles. That gives them, like, access to, like, a kind of a specific type of YBA. Even though it's not technically the same thing, the mirror door glitch is quite similar to a YBA, specifically a subtile YBA. They can also use the mirror to check things in the Dark World by using offset portals and mirror wraps and things like that, so it'll be interesting to see if they utilize that.
Nobly now put a red block in the doorway to get into Rando Room. Fire shield. There's a bottle. 50 and 10 arrows.
Alright, well, the bottle is what Nobly wanted to see.
At 59 minutes in, we have acquired a bottle. Tam suggesting to, because that is a dupable bottle, to dupe the bottle.
Yeah, I've actually never duped that location before, but depending on the layout of the rooms, it could potentially be an easy one that I'm just not aware of, but right now Nobly's setting up a juke to get to the left side without hammer. And we'll have limited access to that area just because the camera is going to be extremely broken, but also an interesting side effect of that Samaria that he did to get to Rando Room is that it dupes this Hope Room super tile, so that's why you see those chests are closed now. And meanwhile, Trey is setting up the offset mirror portal.
Okay.
By screen wrapping and then placing the portal, he's taking advantage of a thing that basically his local coordinates and his global coordinates are desynced, so he's able to put the portal on a different screen than the one he's actually on, and he's going to use that to check the Pyramid Fairy location.
Oh, fancy. And meanwhile, Nobly didn't seem to have gotten through, so...
I mean, at least he tried. I like that he went for it, because it is 4 items, at least. You never know what's over there.
Nobly
Trey showing us the
now...
North Moat clip again for Aga Tower. I think that's how he got here before.
So we're going to go check the... So now is time to go check the one other chest.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that Trey didn't do the North Samaria in GT and missed the bottle because of that.
And then Nobly, I think, got a blue potion. Ooh, nice rod.
Well, that is significant because we know TR is a crystal. Oh yeah, I forgot Nobly hasn't even been here at all yet. That's kind of amusing. We sometimes leave Uncle for quite a long time in glitched modes.
Well, there's a big key to GT.
After they were just there, they are definitely not happy to see that. Nobly setting up our first YBA of the seed, that is, Yuzuhara's bottle adventure, is what we affectionately call these potion glitches.
And my apologies, he had a green potion. All right,
Yeah.
so
He's using the sword sparkles as a visual cue to try to get on one of the 2 last pixels, and this door is really annoying. So it's I've definitely been there where he is, you know, having a little bit of trouble getting on the pixel, but he'll get there.
and so if nobly pulls us off, where is he going?
Beefstown.
Oh, okay.
And I had alluded that they could do this in a different manner, but I would say not a lot of people know how to do that. Like, I think a fair number of people do, but it is a little bit obscure. It's a more difficult trick, but this way works too if you have the potion to do it.
Mm-hmm. Trey now. So now I think. Yep, I'm gonna set up to go. I forgot where this goes.
Oh, this is to swamp. This is a
Okay.
dash citrus clip.
Oh, it's our water lever room. Okay. All right. So now Trey is in swamp. Of course, got through the railing, so we can check the rest of it.
Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder if he's going to check these 2 and then backtrack. I feel like if you're planning to do like a full clear, it makes sense to go to the front first, but we'll see what he decides to do here.
Meanwhile, nothing really of note for Nobly as he's doing the front checks. Big key to swamp.
Well, that is certainly not going to be helpful in this siege, because Trey, being in Hera State, but in Swamp, is able to, and he remembers that, oh no, he already opened it, I'm sorry, but it looks like he was thinking about left side for a second, but he's just gonna go to the back. So it looks like we're just skipping the front entirely.
Just figured have hook shot already and just go ahead and get the boss.
Oh, this is not to do the... Well, I mean, he could if he wants to, but this is just to get the rest of the checks in the back. Because I'm guessing he's not comfortable with the Samaria splashless diver down. Yeah,
Oh.
it looks like he's gonna grab this and then backtrack. Would be because not having the flippers, he would have to access the boss.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you need flippers.
Doing
here.
a mirror glitch.
Yeah. And yeah, no, tempered sword for Trey. And my apologies that we both missed it, but yeah, Nobly somewhere along the way had picked up the pearl.
Oh, huh. I think that was probably in Thieves Town, but I'm not 100%
Yeah, most likely.
about that. So it looks like Trey is going to do the front after all. Oh, I know why he's doing it like this now, or at least I'm guessing. The reason he wants to exit out the front and then use the mirror to actually like explore the dark world, and the mirror makes this actually possible because you have to correct your world state when you travel through the underworld from the light world to the dark world, like being that he like started in Hera. Using the mirror switches your world variable, so even though Swamp Palace and the overworld screen is on, he's technically in the dark world. He has to change the value in the game that tells the game that he's in the dark world. So he can use the mirror to do that and then explore around the dark world if he wants to.
Okay. Oh, flute.
Okay. Looks like he's not doing that though, so I'm a little confused why he routed it that way. Maybe he just wasn't sure how much he was going to commit to clearing.
Mm-hmm. So, Trey looks like on the way to go ahead and activate the flute.
Yeah. It's a shame that
Desert
the most
Big.
value he got was the swamp. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, Desert Big by Nobly.
That Desert Big is not bad. It makes getting to the boss easier, and that is kind of one of the big keys we more commonly use in other dungeons.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like Nobly is going to go ahead and now actually beat Thieves.
Yeah, he would have had to make 2 trips regardless, because you can't take the maiden up to the attic. Like, well, he didn't have to like exit and re-enter, but either way, you kind of have to. And you end up doing laps around the place to open up the attic and then come back for the maiden.
Let's see. Trey now and Meyer. It is Quake, which they both have, so they can access Meyer.
Well, the sea is finally having some mercy on Trey. Like, we won't have to worry about the medallionless Meyer in the future.
Oh, and Trey got the Super Bunny.
Yeah,
Ooh, there's the
nice.
hammer. And arrows. Alright, so the Meyer shed is where we can find the hammer, so that might be useful down the road.
Yeah, the most significant thing I can think of for that hammer, since we know ice is a pendant, is I hope Trey goes back to GT with that hammer, because he'll get items we didn't see, and he'll also get the bottle that Nobly has, assuming he has enough keys to get that far.
Now, Nobly has 3 crystals.
Yeah, he probably doesn't feel good about having only 3 crystals at like near 70 minutes, but he doesn't know that he's actually building up a bit of a lead here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you are watching this and you play no logic and you don't know the Thieves Town double juke, well, you'd have had that Moon Pearl like much earlier, and it would have helped you look for stuff. If you did that, just kind of promoting tech that I like to do, so don't mind me.
Hmm. Nobly trying to go for a swim. Oh, gonna head to...
Magic
Oh,
Bat.
let me check out the bat.
Yeah,
And
that's
thank you,
kind
Mr.
of a funny
Byer.
little
Didn't
stream
realize
run.
that. Yeah, Mr. Byer had said in chat that apparently Ether was on the island, which I didn't know.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
Cape.
Well, I mean, it's a good safety. If you have half magic, you can use it without, like, worrying about your magic, like, conservation. It looks like Trey is going to go to... I think Trey's going to GT? Oh, this is cool. He's trying to set up the clip without having to do the bunny clip, but, I don't know if this is... I don't know, I've never seen that for this specific clip, but I don't see why it wouldn't work, though.
I think he used...
Assuming that... Oh, that boulder knocked him off course there.
Now, every time he tries... It seems like when he tries to warp or go in the portal, he gets kicked out. Unless that's the right position. Nope, he got kicked out again.
Oh, Well, maybe it doesn't work in that position, which is unfortunate, because that was a really creative idea to kind of just use the boots without having the Moon Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are other spots where that works, but I guess it just doesn't work for this specific clip. Or
Yeah.
because that kind of thicker collision than the ones that we like normally teleport on with boots clipping.
Whereas Nobly, now also in Meyer, about to get himself a hammer.
I think that hammer actually has maybe a little bit more value for Nobly, like, in the long term, because not having the Tempered Sword, where he's going to use the hammer on Trinex to make it a little bit easier,
Mm-hmm.
probably, I would guess. At least that's my thought, because it does twice as much damage as the Master Sword.
Yeah. Nobly now gonna go ahead and open up Meyer.
Did anyone see if Nobly bought a potion recently? Because, he doesn't have the big key, but a potion and the mirror would allow him to access the boss without having the big key.
I think he still has his green one, because I don't think he wasn't able to use it in Uncle. Oh no, he did, because he got into Thieves. Never mind. I take that back. No, to my knowledge, he has not tried to yet.
Well, it looks like he's going back for Desert Big Chest, and this makes sense to me. Like, was already in the area.
No blue bottle.
And it is another potion. Wow, this seed is kind of crazy.
So nobly, because he's got the big key, I think is going to go ahead and kind of appears to be going after Landmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of a low-stress play. You don't have to do any glitches. You just kind of play the game normally to do this boss, so I understand it. Just maybe thinking about the next play. But meanwhile, Trey looks
Trey's
like
going to
we're
go
getting
to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, using the mirror to clip, we can easily get inside TR without having the Moon Pearl.
Okay.
But unfortunately for Trey, though, we know that most of it is garbage from Nobly. But if he could go to Laser Bridge though, which we haven't seen yet, he's gonna have to budget his keys like correctly to do so. Possibly like farm the key from the enemies if needed, but depending on how he routes it. But it's certainly possible he could get all the items if he wants to. But I'm hoping he goes to Laser Bridge because it's the density play.
Right. And by the way, it was not that matters, but yeah, it was Quake to get in. Mr. Spyre commenting that yeah, it could just go right to Trinex as well.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that as I stopped talking about it. Usually you want to do Trinex at the end of the seed if you have Samaria, because you can use Samaria to warp to Agatu, but this seed has not really played out in a traditional sense, so it makes sense to go for the bosses that you can do, that you know are required.
So now Trey gonna checking out mimics.
Yeah, this is kind of a forgotten location sometimes, but actually having like the equipment to check it without doing like too many crazy glitches is nice.
Blue cane. So we got map, small key, and ice rod. The other ice rod.
Well, that's really big for Nobly. I think Nobly's gonna go mode with this. Assuming he can tackle Eastern.
So how does that work? How can you get through Eastern without needing the bow?
He either needs to set up a hook push and then do a pretty. Oh yeah, well with Samaria actually it's not bad, but yeah he would have to set up a hook push. And he could go to the Armos boss room from the front room. Which setting up the hook push itself is not like as straightforward without the lamp, but he could attempt it, and he would only get one shot at doing it. You would have to leave and set up your index again if you've failed it. But the other way is he would have to go back and try that door delete again, and then after he deletes the big key door, he would have to the quadrant glitch the Igors to get an unstable camera. And the unstable camera allows us to open the other doors in the dungeon without actually killing the red Igors, which provide the bow block requirement.
Speaking of Laser Bridge.
Yeah, Nobly showing us a mirror wrap to get here the more conventional way, if you like that we see in speedruns.
There's the last sword there, so if Trey ends up going that way, Trey will have a gold sword waiting.
Yeah, doing that Samaria to go to Rando room really kind of swung this in Nobly's favor. Everything's been kind of working out for him since that.
Yeah, once the bottle was found, it kind of really took off.
Well, I imagine if Trey watched this back, he's not going to forget that that's an option if next time he's in GT with
Mm-hmm.
Samaria.
All right, so now try next fight. Fairly simple. Ice the firehead, slash it a couple times, dash over.
Yeah, this is the comfiest Trinex fight I've seen in like some time. He's got half magic, tempered sword, red mail.
Got a 2-cycle, but that's okay. A little low to get that. Yeah, a little low to get the double spin. But, alright, try next though. Easy fight, easy.
Yeah, the double spin is not free anymore with Fast Drum. Like, you certainly can do it, but
Bottle.
yeah, you got really react. It's another one. Did the rich just get richer? Well, for Trey, this is good. Having missed out on the other ones, but we'll have to see if he can make up any ground or not. It just depends on how long it takes Nobly to deal with Eastern, and if Trey himself like has a solution for it. Because I'm assuming that Nobly's probably not gonna check too many more items. I'm not sure about Trey though. For Trey, I think Thieves Town is like the most logical play next with the bottle that he's about to get, because Thieves Town is one of those dungeons that you don't really get any value from go moding it, so you kind of just want to do it sooner, like since the item checks are generally on the way. But that's just my opinion on that.
So where's so Nobly now at the cross section there? Where's Nobly heading to?
So this North Samaria will take us to Aga 2. This is one of the ways we can do a lava dive. Any way that you have of putting yourself in the lava in this room will warp you to Aga 2 for whatever reason. That's just the way the game works. So
Okay.
now we're here.
Oh, look at that. All right, see how this goes here. Got a double.
This is really good routing from Trey, taking advantage of the boss warp to the front to check the other items without like traversing the dungeon too much. I like this.
That's 5. One more. This should be it. Yep. Well, Nobly taking laps around the room in victory. Nobly's 18 out of 12 items.
Yeah, there are compass counters. Well, I mean, he did open that Broopy chest quite a few times, so the game is making sure he knows that.
This is true.
It's like he's trying to think about where to go here.
Yeah, it looks like Nobly is gonna. Looks like it's gonna go to Eastern.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. Oh no, Potion Shop? And then Eastern? I don't know.
It was Nobly who beat Lanma earlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just notice it on the tracker. So
yeah, because Nobly has the Desert Big Key, so it was easy for him to just do it normally.
he just walked in. So all that Nobly has left is Eastern, or for crystals, Eastern and Vidi.
Yes, and
has done everything
not
else.
Having not having the big key for Meyer though, it's not. I would say it's not free for him. Like he definitely has to know what he's doing to get that done. Although there's a few different ways he could go about doing it. So since I've so far failed to predict what he's been doing, I'm just gonna see. I'll see what he does and then explain it afterwards.
Fair enough.
Well, meanwhile, Trey, this is a Lanmo play, and using the mirror or a potion, if he bought one, is one of our ways of bypassing the big key requirement.
So since nobly has both, since nobly does have both, going to go ahead and check both chests.
I think this might actually be a Vitreous play, because there is a way you can get there from Castle Tower. It's generally not recommended, for reasons we'll get into if we see that, but
Oh, okay.
we'll see if he goes for it or not.
Be interesting.
Yeah, I would think having front door access to Meyer would always be better, but not everyone agrees.
And Trey not. Oh, I guess Trey doesn't have the big key. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's setting up a door glitch, either a YBA or a mirror door.
So he's got to get a little more creative to try to get in there, I assume.
Yeah, so this is what's called bomb snapping, and he has to do this because, well, for the well, he doesn't have to, but it's the easiest way to position yourself to do the YBA.
Oh, and lo and behold, there we are.
Yeah, that was nicely done. The spin YBAs are always kind of awkward because it's not. You have to like release your sword spin after you do the transition and potion inputs, so it kind of gotta grip the controller a little differently. At least I think. I'm curious to see how other people do it, but it's just kind of a weird set of inputs. You hit up and Y on the same frame while holding B, and then you have to release B, so it's a little awkward. And Nobly has to do the same thing here. This spin YBA will take him to Vitreous. We're probably going to see some heavy VRAM corruption, and yeah, we're already seeing that now.
Oh, there it is. And yeah, that's Vitreous.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Nobly was expecting that, or maybe just taking a second in the menu to make sure knows what he's doing here. Yeah, okay, it looks like he's using the cape.
Yeah, it looks like it's cape and just mashing to win.
Yeah, so the problem with doing this though is that not just the VRAM, but the tile set is not the Meyer tile set, and as such, the goo is a lot more solid than we're used to seeing it. And the potential problem with that comes in when the big eyeball. It's possible for it to get stuck, and if the big eyeball gets stuck in a certain way, yeah, you can see it bouncing, and it's having trouble getting out. Well, apparently Nobly knows the trick to get it out, so that was nicely done. But yeah, a lot of people have tried to do it this way, and myself included have just kind of abandoned this strategy because if the boss fight fails, you just wasted a bunch of time. But Nobly made it look easy, so that was really cool.
There we go, got something.
Oh, he can't collect that though. You got that's okay. So because he's in Aga Tower state, okay, he did save and quit. That's good. Oh, so because he's in Castle Tower state, like an illegal item drops that we're not allowed to take advantage of. It's a vanilla mechanic, but for the purposes of the tournament and rando, we've agreed to not take advantage of that. So it looks like he avoided picking it up, which is good. He would have been disqualified otherwise. So I think it's a sword. In vanilla, it's ether, but I think it's a sword in rando. I'm not 100% sure on that, because I know for Hyrule Castle it's a sword, but he was in Castle Tower state, so I'm not 100% certain on that.
Okay. Flippers.
Of course. In a seed where swamps appendant. Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious what he's looking for, although... Okay, so... By doing it this way, Nobly has fulfilled the boss requirement. So now I'm guessing his plan is to clip Tuhara from Meyer to collect the crystal that way. He saved himself an additional YBA by doing the Castle Tower climb. Because the YBA method inside Meyer involves going to Castle Tower anyway, but just using another YBA. So he skipped that portion of it by just climbing the tower manually.
And I think Trey tried to do statue drag again, but he got stuck in the screen.
Yeah, it requires some pretty specific movement, like to manipulate the camera so that this whole thing kind of works out the way we want it to. So it's not terribly uncommon to see people struggle with this trick, especially like people that are newer to the mode. I know I've definitely like some frustrating trouble with it in the past. Fortunately,
Yeah, Byre
fortunately
said
that's
that.
been stayed in the past. But sorry.
Yeah, Byre said that Trey got nudged a little going up in that last step, so I guess he got put out of place.
Yeah, that's a very good observation by Mr. Byre, because during the last step you cannot move up at all or it fails the whole trick because the camera just isn't set up the way we need it to take the transition correctly.
Okay. I think Nobly here is doing a couple of checks, I think, before, because now I guess this is the part I don't get. Is the prize in the Vitreous boss room right now, or the crystal, I mean, or no?
It is, but he doesn't have the big key to Meyer. So the way it works is for fulfilling the crystal requirement, since he already defeated the boss, is you just need to have the dungeon ID for the dungeon that you're trying to acquire the crystal for. So in this case, he already walked in the front door of Meyer. So from there, he just has to access any of the boss's super tiles. It doesn't have to be exactly Vitreous's room. But any boss room with this Meyer dungeon ID will drop the prize because the prize has not been collected, is the way that works.
Okay, very good. So Trey, try it again. It's in the green room of death, and nope. No death again.
This is unfortunate because nobly looking.
Oh, there's
for,
a lamp.
Oh, that lamp is probably going to do it for him. That's probably. I think Trey's out of time now to try to catch up some ground here because I would not be surprised if nobly go modes with that because that lamp makes it really simple to do hook pushes. Like the hook push themselves is still the same tech, but like what you have to do, setting the index beforehand. Basically, it lets him retry for free. Basically, is what the lamp versus having the lamp instead of the powder does for him.
Oh, I see. All right.
So he's not worried about finding the bow anymore, not worried about finding Eastern Big or anything like that. The lamp probably is the most helpful item he could have actually found in this case, and it just happened to be there.
Nope. It's gonna get some fairy. Got a fairy. Okay. So now I think this is what you were saying earlier. He'll now go into Moldorm, but because he was in Meyer, he will now go collect his prize. As Trey has finally gotten into Helma.
Very nice.
Helma should be pretty easy with the old gold sword there.
Oh. Yep, two swings. Yeah, about the statue drug thing, I see some like talking in chat. Like, I would personally advise picking up all the pots, because then you don't risk like having problems like bonking anything or things like that. And what like for some of them you want. Generally, we come here a lot earlier, so you want the heart from one of them, and one of them is a bomb, which you want as well, because we don't usually have hammer. So I would just advise people practice it in a way that involves picking up all the pots. That's my 2 cents on that matter.
Nobly learning about Skullwoods.
Yeah, I think he was trying to dash out of there. I don't think he was.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. So now, looks like Trey.
Oh,
both are going to be in Eastern.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Nobly was there. Maybe he did forget the prize layout and was double checking before he went to do Eastern.
Okay, so now here we go. Yeah, Byre, I agree with that. Yeah, he was getting. It looked like he was getting hearts.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, so the easiest way to do this is with sword beams, and you're actually not supposed to do that the way he did, because if you sword beam an object from far away, you risk getting an EG check, but it'll probably be okay though.
Nope, there it is. Look at that.
Yep, that was
Make it look
nice.
free. So here we go, round 2. We're gonna blue
Yeah,
cane
so
them. We're gonna blue cane them.
yeah, I mean this is almost as good as using the bow, especially if you have half magic.
Yeah, this would
But
be a
yeah,
little. It'd be a little dicier if he didn't have a half magic. So that's it. Nobly has at 133 has collected everything and defeated Aga 2.
yeah,
So just
yeah. For
one thing left to do.
Yeah, for a seed that started out really rocky, like, it kind of came together really quickly for him. I just want to point out again, in case it wasn't clear earlier, like, he could have done that hook push, like, much earlier. It's just that not having the lamp, if he had failed, like, the first block miss slot, like, he would have had to leave and set it up again, so it would have been time-consuming if he failed it, but, deciding to look for items and finding the lamp, makes it, completely comfortable for him. So if
Hmm.
he did. I just want to say he didn't even fail it, so he didn't even have to retry it. So having the lamp in this case actually didn't make a difference. Like, 'cause I'm assuming nobody knows how to set the temporary index, but regardless, the seed has worked out well for him in the end. Just needs to
Hmm.
finish off Ganon.
Yep. So no bow, no silvers. So you have to do it the old tried and true. Just spin to win.
Yeah, Nobly's been playing Rando for a really long time, and it does play non-glitched as well. So definitely he's not gonna have trouble with this fight, I wouldn't think.
No. And also, if for whatever reason, if he does have a fairy. So, okay, here we go. All right, got through phase 1. 12 slashes through phase 2. Random bats. And now we wait. This is how Trey can make up time if Nobly's Ganon just decides to warp forever. Unfortunately, no Ganon not being that courteous to Trey. Okay, here we go. And got it. Very good. Got torch glitch. So now, yeah, 12 spins of victory. Unless Nobly falls. Meanwhile, Trey is currently going back in the refill hut. Get some extra bombs. Because Trey still needs to take out Blind and Armos. And is Trey still missing Aga 2?
Yes, and Trey has to do Meyer as well.
Okay. Well, so unless Nobly falls, this is it. GG's in chat.
Yes, Nobly's gonna take this one with a official race time GG time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. At the very beginning though, that yeah, that was not good. That was not good at the beginning there, because it was definitely a little dicey. Because they were
Yeah,
how long? An hour in or so? Sitting around
yeah,
waiting for bottles or something of any real use to show up.
yeah. No, to tell you the truth, I actually like seeds like this for racing because they reward people to have more game knowledge, and I've taken the time to learn a lot of tricks that would have helped speed the seed up. But I mean, he still got through it. It's just kind of a little bit silly that that single decision to do a North Samaria in GT is what kind of snowballed and like let him run away with the seed. But I mean, it is Brando though, so it's just kind of what it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And Trey has been informed, so Trey has opted to forfeit. Understandable. But no, that was all. That was fun. That was good. Hopefully, chat enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. There are your runners. There's your commentators. Oh, Tracker doesn't get a separate command because I'm stupid. Make sure you give all those people a follow. But yeah,
Well,
no.
let's see about.
What'd you say?
Can them interview here.
Let's see. Okay, we got Nobly here on standby. Whenever they are ready, we can go ahead and have a post-match interview here. In the interim, just as a friendly reminder, that the next one in the next race in the No Logic tournament will be at 8 p.m. EDT. Chex Human versus Doomtap on SpeedGaming 5. And with that, Nobly, congratulations.
Yo, thank
Right. Congratulations, Nobly. GG.
That was something.
No, that was an adventure of massive proportions. So, I guess, how did you feel after about what was it? What did we say about 50 minutes in when no bottle up to that point?
Yeah, I mean, our last seed was no bottle, so I was like, I'm just gonna start bunny clipping now because that's just how it goes. So after last seed where we last located bunny clipping both of us, so I was like feeling more confident now.
Excellent.
What do you think was like the big thing that made a difference for you in this race, Nobly?
I think execution routing, I guess, but I don't know. It felt bad when I got my fire rod in Eastern.
Yeah, Trey had that fire rod for a very long time, and actually found a different ice rod than you first. But
Well, I found
what really made
both of them, but
yeah
yeah.
yeah well, what really made a big difference was that you doing the North Samaria in GT to get to Rando Room. Trey, you two were both in GT at the same time, but Trey just decided to leave and did not get the bottle, so ended up like going to Pyramid Ferry, doing some other things. Went to Myershed and got the hammer. I used the hammer to use the TR portal and then mirror clipped. So that was how their first bottle ended up being on Trina, or only bottle, I should say. So, like you guys, it was looking like it could have been close for a while, but after GT, you were starting to pull away, and everything kind of ended up working out for you in the end. It was, it really came together for you. Like your routing, just like every decision you made after GT, just kind of helped you out and put you further ahead. So,
Yeah, I mean, at the end there, all I was doing extra check because Eastern at that point was just ugh. Either I have to door delete and like double quadrant glitch or like the triple YBA, but then I would have to Stairmaster and open the doors. I was like, oh, can I just get a bow or lamp or Eastern big that just makes my life easier on my trip here? So I was really happy when the lamp showed up, to be honest.
yeah, I was saying the lamp is the best possible item you could have found there, actually, and then you did find it, but I don't know, did you ever think about using the powder index at all, or no?
I can only do it with bow. I don't know how to second slot it without a bow right now. I haven't practiced it, so I know how to do it with bow, and that's about it.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because you did do the hook push itself, like not like you did do it on your first try. So I was thinking if you had done the index setting, like they would have just gotten it out of the way for you. But yeah, I can just tell you really quick. It's not complicated. You need to set the Samaria block in a way that the bottom beam despawns first, and you have the other ones on screen um, while you're like doing the powder animation. And then save. Then from that point, just save and quit, like the same as you would with the bow method. So,
Oh,
if you don't know, now you know.
interesting, nice.
All right.
Because the powder has to go in that same slot that shares with like the bottom beam. So as long as you place the block like near like up south wall or something like that, like in Link's house, is where I do it. So,
Yeah, I
but
mean
you
that's
still though. You did a lot of good stuff though in that seed, and I don't blame you for leaving Eastern because, like you said, it's a long process to do it that way. So I mean, it makes sense. And you didn't even have the mirror at that time.
yeah. I was trying to delete the door, but then I transitioned. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with it now. I'm not gonna do the double quadrant glitch anyway, and I just got my fire rod, so like GT seems like a pretty good play here anyway. So
Yeah, definitely. And Mr. Spyre in chat actually is explaining another setup for the powder index. Like the one I told you is the one that I know works for me, but I know that's like not the only way to do it. So, um, yeah, just to let you know, to help you in your future races, I like to share the knowledge. So,
yeah, I mean it's definitely something I will look into and like learning, because setting index with powder is a great way to start your hook pushes when you and I've been relying on having a bow for that, but like there's a lot of other things so to learn. So I was practicing some earlier with the triple YBAs and like getting a feel for YBA, so it's much nicer. So
the triple YBA in Eastern?
no, to swamp. And
Oh,
Eastern.
and
Yeah,
oh,
that's how,
oh,
that triple YBA to get Eastern is how I lost my last no logic tournament, because I failed it 3 times in a row and got surpassed. I was so far ahead and then triple YBA. But there's come a lot of better solutions to Eastern nowadays. So
oh, so you were talking about a desert to swamp and then to spin to Argus? Okay.
yeah. That's also why I went from Castle Tower, because I knew I had the 2 keys, so I was like, I can just do those 2 checks there, and then I can go into Mire afterwards and just search all of Mire and just hope I find Eastern Big or Bow or Lamp or anything that makes my life a lot easier.
No, I was a little bit surprised that you didn't go for Victorious in Meyer State. I mean, you did save yourself a West YBA, but I was saying that with the Castle Tower Vidi, like, a lot of people don't know whatever trick it is that you know to get him to, like, not be stuck in the goo. So that, like, that was, you got it, like, immediately, so that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I also had Cape though, so I could use Cape in a lot of magic, so.
Well, yeah, for the fight itself, like, you can, like, the cape, like, solves the fight, but, like, a
Oh, I
lot of
have
people
no
have
idea
tried to
how
do that,
to do that
and he
to
gets...
get him out though, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, is there a certain, like, method you have for doing that, or do you just kind of just, like, wing it every time?
Yeah, I wing it.
Well, I mean, you made it look like you knew what you were doing, though, so, I mean, that worked out, like, perfectly for you. It wasn't even slow.
No, well, I'm happy it worked out, I guess. I
Yeah, I
mean,
was just a little
my
surprised to
initial
see
thought
it, but it was cool.
was, if it didn't work, I still could just go over to Mire and do it from there. I just wanted to get those Castle Tower checks because I knew my 3 bottles were like very deep into the seed, I knew Trinix was one, and I only saw an ice rod in what do you call that? Hype Cave. So I was like, okay, if there's no ice rod, that bottle is unavailable, and it becomes very, you know, because we were struggling with bottles last seed. So I was like, you know, I'll just check these 2 items. Maybe there's a bow, maybe, you know. And then I can just go to Viti from here, and if it fails, then I can just go from Meyer, and then just do the double YBA and don't have to dupe the crystal. So for me, it was like I get 2 checks and potentially I just boss kill and just rush. So
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense now. With that, the efficiency on getting the checks and then going for the boss, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. I was just surprised, and then, like I said, it was cool to see that. But yeah, I think I missed the last race that you guys had, but I don't know if you saw the one with me versus Simple Clips, game 2, but it seems like a lot of these like weird seeds that kind of like put you to the test have been like going around, like specifically in the tournament, like in the races that we've been practicing, like casually racing each other have been like jet seeds, so it's like not the same thing at all.
yeah, I mean, I'm fine with tuning down the seed. I was a bit worried when, you know, I was like, oh, my go mode is just finding the ice rod right now. I have like bottle, I have everything for ice rod. The only thing I was like, okay, if I get bow, I can hook push from Hera and do Meyer with the Hera big key. And stuff like that. That was on my mind, like, where is my hook push gear? So I was in go mode a lot earlier than it looked like, but I just don't know how to powder index correctly. So because if I knew how to
Well,
powder index, I would have just went Hera to Meyer and done it from Hera. Oh wait, no, I didn't have bow at that point. Never mind. You need bow to stuck push there. For me, at least.
Which room in here do you use to go to Meyer? I'm kind of blanking. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, the one there, the cage.
Oh, like the first check when you walk in and go downstairs on the left?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I know. Right, right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, that definitely works. That's cool. It's
Yeah,
really
that
cool
was
to
on my
see
mind. Like,
people's solutions.
I was like, just give me a bow and I'm just going, you know? That's all I was wanting there. But I got lamp instead, so it worked out as well. I was worried though when I didn't get anything and was like, I have 2 checks left before I have to start doing some dumb Eastern locations. So I was like, I was thinking about after Meyer, do I just quickly go back to GT and do DM room and just check, you know? That was my. It's like 4 quick checks, and apart from that, I think everything else was just go ice swamp. Nah, I'm not doing those. Like 4 chest DM room
Yeah,
was fine.
yeah, Trey ended up clearing out swamp, like except for the left side and the boss, and not finding anything. And tried to go back to GT with the hammer, but it was like it appeared that he was like getting frustrated with the clip and ended up not returning to GT. Because we were kind of rooting for him to go back to GT to get the bottle, so it would have like tightened up the race a bit. But I think sometimes it's just the way it goes, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems like my game file got what I wanted.
Oh, so Krithel is your next opponent?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck in that matchup.
It's a grudge match because he's my mentor, so.
Yeah, well,
So we now have a
Krithel is
chance to have the
quite the
student become the
opponent.
master.
Yeah. And he also won grudge match because me and Tam in Glitch League won against him and Malmo, so
Oh, okay.
there's some history. It's gonna be fun.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for the
I
respawn.
do expect then to be a whole lot of trash talking before the race, during the race, and after the race.
Oh yeah, they're
We'll
probably.
make sure to document all of that.
Yeah. Thanks for the restream, and as always, it's always fun to get to watch your races back and see what you could have done and what commentators like give hints and tips about glitches, you know. So thanks for showing up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for playing, and congratulations again. And a GG to Trey Spyre as well. So this is a double elimination, so this is not the last that we'll see from Trey. I'm not sure who their next opponent is, or if that's even been decided yet, but by no means do not count them out yet.
Hold on, I will tell you. Trey is, if I'm reading this right, loser at 12. Well, they don't have an opponent yet, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so yeah, as you just said, Trey will be heading into the losers bracket, but that's okay. So plenty more time to make a comeback. And as of course Nobly wanted, is it Krythel? How do you? I don't know how to say.
Krythel.
Okay. Nobly wanted Krythel. A permission granted, so they will be facing off into apparently will be a very heated and very personal duel between the two. That should be fun to see. Is there? Let me think. I don't have anything else. Is there anything else? Is there anything you would like to promote?
No, I just think I will say, well, thanks to you for commentary, assisting me. Thanks to Mr. Bayer for tracking. Not sure who our setup helpers were today, but thank you to them. And
yeah,
well,
my
I think
apologies.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I have. I don't know if they want me to say their name in the Discord, so unfortunately, I'll have to keep it confidential. As mentioned before, though, the next matchup, at least according to my schedule, will be tonight in about 3 hours, actually, at 8 p.m. EDT. It's going to be Chex Human versus Doomtap. Once again, I, Misanthropic Buddha, will be on commentary. So if you don't like what you're hearing, I'm so sorry. But otherwise, please make sure, again, you give both the runners, the commentators, and the channel a follow. And thank you so much for everyone. And again, thank you, JD, for coming in on the fly, because like literally you came in right as they were about to hit start. So really do appreciate that.
Problem.
Okay, and I think
enjoy being here. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be it for us. So thank you for everyone for watching, and hopefully we'll see you all here in a few hours. Y'all have a good morning, afternoon, and evening, and we'll see you later.